talk today about a bunch of things that had happened over the course of the last 2 weeks. And let's start with the Crimean Bridge. What is your take on it? Is there any outside chance that it was just a false flag operation by the Russians to be used as pretext for all the massive air attacks on Kyiv and other cities of Ukraine? And also, I have heard an opinion that the bridge could have been exploded only by attaching the explosives to the bottom of the bridge, and only that could have caused the explosion. What do you think?
The General Staff of Armed Forces of Ukraine did not confirm that this was operation by the Ukrainian military. If there is no official confirmation, then all versions of that happened are just versions. And each of them has the right to exist. But this was not a pretext for massive attacks. The fact is that the Russian military began to form ammunition in September. According to available information, in early October, they were developing plans of strikes. That is the incident on the Crimean Bridge coincided with Russians' plans to strike at Ukraine, which were being prepared in advance.
A number of experts, including the Institute of Study of War from the States and others, see that the Kremlin, and especially recently, has been flipping the narratives and accusing Ukraine, the USA, NATO, European Union, the whole world of being state terrorists. And I personally observe a number of trolls activating in my feed and other people's feeds. And you have published a very interesting article on the account of the Russian diplomats running a covert operation to frame Ukrainian diplomats. Can you comment on that, please?
Yes, it is. The Russians try to get in touch with the Ukrainian diplomats in Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. This is a very strange offer. We offered to terrorist acts in Russia. In their opinion, this should have finally decided the Russians to the action of Russia's government. In fact, it was a provocation, where Russians tried to provocate Ukrainian diplomats in order to later accuse Ukraine of preparing terrorist acts in a Russian state. This attempt failed, but this attempt shows how much the Russians are worried about the war crimes they are committing, and they want to somehow divert the attention of the international community from their crimes to some. They want to stop killing Ukrainians. They will divert attention. This is a provocation.
Our next question is about the situation in Belgrade, Russia, which is a city right on the border with Ukraine. Lately, the number of attacks there intensified, and there were so-called unidentified flying objects fallen on the residential buildings, according to the mayor of Belgrade. So what is going on there? Do you think the Ukrainian military are responsible for the explosion, or are there signs that the Russian missiles self-destruct and fall on their own territory? I have heard reports of the Russian missiles launched from Astrakhan, this is on the side of the Caspian Sea, and falling in the Caspian Sea as well. Is this correct?
Russia is now limited in its ability to use missile weapons. We have a shortage of missiles, and this is obvious. We use not hundreds of rockets to shell the territory of Ukraine, but dozens. We use not modern but very often old Soviet missiles. It is these old Soviet missiles unreliable and dangerous to use that fall on Russian cities. Over the past months, we have seen several videos of rockets launch in the Belgrade region, which a few seconds after the launch exploded in the city of Belgrade. Ukraine did not strike and does not strike the territory of Russia.
We will be monitoring the ongoing situation as there's some occurrences on a daily basis in that region. And our traditional question to you is the situation at the front and your analysis and forecast. It has been reported that the Russian troops have now been focusing on Bakhmut and that they are making some progress there, and that they're using the new battle tactic used by specifically Wagner when they ambushing the Ukrainian military from a very close distance of literally 50 meters right after a heavy artillery attack on the trench. Can you comment on this tactic? And do you think that the Russian troops are making progress in Donetsk Oblast? And also a few words maybe about the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Kherson Oblast. Did it slow down? Is it speeding up? I know there is a silence regime around it, but maybe you can comment on it.
For more than 3 months, Russian troops have been trying to capture two settlements in the Donetsk region, Bakhmut and Avdiivka. Indeed, they have concentrated serious forces in this direction, but so far away efforts have not been successful. In the Kherson region, preparations are underway for the next stage of counteroffensive. This is stage for the liberation of Berislav, and this is a very important city for the further development of the counter-attack on Kherson. Mobilized Russians will not be able to change this situation. Are not experienced and poorly equipped units. We will not be able to stop the armed forces of Ukraine.
Well, let's hope for the best, and we will be looking forward to the next forecast and next analysis that will hopefully bring some good news. And please stay safe because the attacks are ongoing, and we are looking forward to speaking to you next week, hopefully.